There is currently a Senator Kennedy in the Senate, and he's actually named John Kennedy, but he's a Republican. He is not related to the well-known Kennedys of Democratic Party fame. And in the wake of multiple major mass shootings in the last week, Senator Kennedy has been doing the rounds to equate guns to cars, insisting that, listen, we don't ban cars because sometimes people die in car accidents. We don't ban cars because sometimes people drive drunk. And this could not be a sillier analogy. And we're going to talk about why in a moment. But understand that at a top level, even comparing cars and guns is fraught because of their intended purposes. Cars were never designed to kill people or animals or maim them. Yes, a car can be misused as a weapon, but it wasn't invented for that. Guns were invented to kill or maim people or animals, and sometimes to threaten people with the fear of doing that. Yes, guns can be used for target practice. That's not what they were invented for. Most people don't own guns merely for target practice. Most car-related deaths are accidents. Most gun-related deaths are deliberate, homicides and suicides. There are gun accidents as well. Okay? So the comparison at a base level makes no sense. Senator John Kennedy and some others don't care or don't know. Here is John Kennedy at a congressional hearing earlier this week saying, we have lots of drunk driving deaths. We don't ban sober drivers from driving.
But I do think we ought to keep this in perspective. What has happened in the last few days, what's happened in the last years is, of course, tragic. And I'm not trying to perfectly equate these two, but we have a lot of drunk drivers in America that kill a lot of people. We ought to try to combat that too. But I think what many folks on my side of the aisle are saying is that the answer is not to get rid of all sober drivers. The answer is to concentrate on the problem.
I guess Senator Kennedy really liked this analogy because then he appeared on Fox News and made a similar car-related analogy to guns during an interview with Fox and Friends host Brian Kilmeade yesterday morning.
But you don't stop drunk drivers by getting rid of all sober drivers, which is what many of my Democratic friends want to do with respect to the Second Amendment. In my judgment, we do not need more gun control. We need more idiot control.
So part of the problem with saying that this is about idiot control, so therefore don't do anything about guns, is that it's too easy for idiots in the U.S. to get guns in the first place. And there's too many idiots in the United States. But the analogy to vehicles is really a terrible one because we already regulate vehicles way more than we regulate getting guns. John Kennedy says, let's not go crazy with cars like some want to do with guns because that would be bad. Actually, we do much more with drivers and vehicles already. To get a driver's license in the first place, in most states, you need to pass a written test, have a certain number of practice hours, pass a driving test, renew the license periodically. Sometimes that includes an eye exam. If you get too many tickets, you lose your license. If you don't pay tickets, you can lose your license. In most states, the car has to be insured. In most states, you need to have the car inspected yearly for safety. Depending on the age of the car, there would be an emissions test to see if it's roadworthy based on modern emission standards. If you drive drunk, you can use your license or even go to prison. It's not, no one is suggesting, he says, let's not do with cars what we do with what Democrats want to do with guns. In reality, it's Republicans who don't even want to do with guns what we already do with cars and drivers. I have many Democratic and left-leaning friends who own firearms. They all want universal background checks, mandatory waiting period to get a gun, limits on certain types of weapons, but arguably just as importantly, limits on certain ammunition purchases, mandatory relicensing and testing, and mandatory gun insurance. We have a Second Amendment. I'm not disputing that. None of my left-leaning gun owner friends are disputing that. What we're disputing is that we don't even make it as difficult to get a gun as we make it to get a driver's license. And that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And a lot of this stuff is actually not controversial. Universal background checks, it ebbs and flows over time, but it's overwhelmingly popular with the American people. In the wake of the Sandy Hook shooting, it was like 88 to 90% support. Republicans just said no. It was a non-starter with Republicans. A lot of this isn't controversial with the American people, and it is a designed controversy by the NRA and other groups because they just want to sell guns. Always the threat of someone taking your gun is a great way to get people to go and buy guns before they make them illegal, right? This is how the NRA sells guns. And from the standpoint of elections, these are often, for the right, great issues for raising money. So terrible analogy, cars and guns. Doesn't make any sense. Friday, March 26th, one-day membership special. We're almost there. We had a pretty poor month in February from the standpoint of memberships, a lot of cancellations because of what's going on economically. So we're doing a vaccine-themed membership blowout on Friday. If you want to get the instructions for how to take advantage of it, just get on my mailing list at joinpakman.com. Friday morning, you'll get an email and you'll be able to sign up at a huge discount. It's a beautiful thing. One of our sponsors is privacy.com. They're giving you $5 when you sign up for their completely free service at privacy.com/Pakman. I've been using Privacy for a little over a year now. You've heard me talk about it before. It's a lifesaver, and here's how it works. It takes just a couple of minutes to set up. Anytime you buy something online or on the phone, instead of actually using your real credit card number, the Privacy app and the browser plugin let you give each company a randomized virtual credit card number that you create out of thin air. It'll even autofill the card number with one click. And the payment is taken out of your checking account without the merchant ever knowing your real information. So this allows you to keep your banking information secure, but also to take control of your finances. You can create up to 12 of these virtual credit cards a month. You can set spending limits. You can freeze them. You can delete them anytime you want. So when you do this, it means you're not going to be charged when you don't want to be, because you can destroy the virtual card number right after using it, which, for instance, I love using free trials because I know I won't be charged when the trial is over if I use a virtual credit card number. You're keeping your identity private by not telling companies who you are. You're keeping your bank or credit card info protected against data breaches and identity theft, and it's free. And like I said, you'll get $5 to spend when you sign up at privacy.com/Pakman.